Well, hello everyone. It's great to be back with you after another stint in lockdown in Melbourne. You know, in some shape or form, Victoria's been in lockdown now for almost 12 months. And to be honest, we're over it. Bring on the vaccine, I say. Now, I know that this can be a very divisive topic, but I'll take my chance this morning. Please take the vaccine. If not just for yourself, certainly for everyone else around you. And I can tell you categorically that as soon as it's my turn, I will be first in line to take it. You know, we're very privileged to live in a time where we can actually find answers to such a massive global problem. But we're also very privileged to be in a time where we can be in leadership and make a real difference by doing what we do. And that's what I want to focus on today. Have you ever thought about your leadership role from the perspective of privilege? Now, I'm not talking about people who come from a privileged position. I'm talking about those who truly understand how fortunate they are to be able to serve. You know, when I mention privilege of leadership to leaders, they often say to me, "Really? A privilege? You should work in my role, or you should work with the people that I work with." And my response is very simple to all of them. If you don't see leadership as a privilege and love what you do, then get out and let someone else do it. Otherwise, it will destroy both you and the people you've been put there to serve. Now, I'm not saying that there won't be times when we are overwhelmed, frustrated, or even want to quit. We've all been through that. But it's the understanding of the privilege we have been given that brings us out the other side. And understanding the privilege of leadership will determine how we develop as leaders. It'll determine our attitude. It'll determine the way we treat ourselves and others, and also the actions that we then take. Recently, I was invited back to my old high school in South Australia, where I had the opportunity to speak to hundreds of students about the privilege of leadership. It truly was a wonderful morning. But a prominent politician was there to help with the graduation of these students. And after the session, he came up to me and said, "Wow, that was inspirational. I've never thought of leadership that way. That changes everything, doesn't it?" And it really does, because when we understand the privilege, what happens then is that we develop a balanced concern for ourselves, for the job that we do, and for others. Then all three become just as important as each other. And that's really what leadership is all about. You know, every day I feel privileged to be able to do what I do. That I have the platform to encourage people, to challenge them to think differently, to have an impact on their career, their financial status, and even their family situation. How can that not be a privilege? Yes, with leadership comes great responsibility. But when viewed through the eyes of privilege, we begin to realize that what we do has great benefit to our businesses, to the lives of individuals within them, and also to ourselves. And just like my message last week, we must stop and see the good in others before we can effectively lead them. And when we see that good in people, the privilege of leadership becomes clear, and eventually it even becomes part of our DNA. So enjoy your leadership journey, because you truly are making a difference, even though sometimes it may not feel like it. But always remind yourself that it is a privilege to lead others. And when we discover this, then our leadership simply becomes more meaningful. Every week I introduce you to one of our team to find out what they've been doing throughout the week. And this week it's Grant Davis. Grant is a lead educator at Proteus, and many of you may have been in one of his sessions. But he's also our National Corporate Services Leader operating out of South Australia. Let's see what Grant's been up to this week.
Thanks, Des. Well, today I'm coming to you from Mildura, regional Victoria, where I'm partnering with Lower Murray Water to run a 2-day Leading People and Culture program here on site. Now, I love partnering with organisations because, one, it brings us out into the regions, just like we are today, but also it gives us the opportunity to really focus and work with their leaders, not only on the 2-day program, but to back that up with the 8 weeks of digital learning, and then being able to come back and run an embedding day to really ensure we've set their leaders up for success.
While we're on the theme of introducing our team, you'll remember last week I introduced you to our new New South Wales ACT regional leader and lead educator, Cameron Cow. Well, this week I'm thrilled to be able to introduce you to a further 2 new team members, Imogen and Christoph Hewitt. Yes, they do have the same name because they are in fact 2 amazing professionals who also happen to be married to each other. Both Imogen and Christoph are experienced leadership educators who have run their own business, and they've worked with senior leaders across the country in the areas of education, strategy, change and coaching. We're thrilled to have them both join our team, and they'll be a great asset to both Proteus and our clients. Welcome aboard, Imogen and Christoph. Well, I have some sad news this week. I'm really sad to say that last week, a great servant of our business, Madge, finally left the building. Madge has been with us for many years, and to be honest, we could not have done without her. In fact, many of you have manuals in your offices that were printed on Madge. But as harsh as this might seem, she's now been replaced with a speedier and more flexible version called Brooke. Very bold and the beautiful. Let's watch as Madge departs the building and a replacement emerges. Sorry about that. It's an attempt at humour. Certainly gave all the team in Melbourne office a giggle. And as I get older, I know just how Madge feels. In October and November 2020, Richard Dorr and I launched a new program called Resetting Your Leadership. And in this program, Richard looked at 2 important topics: building leadership resilience and leading opportunity and growth. And I focused on 2 topics: staying relevant and leading and living with insight, which for me is the great key to effective leadership. This virtual program is now being run again this year on the 20th of April, commencing at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time and finishing around 3:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. You know, sometimes it's not just new skills that are required to make us more effective, but we need a total reset where we focus on the qualities of leadership and not just skill enhancement. So why don't you and your team choose to reset by registering into this challenging and inspirational program? Visit our website or click on the link below to register yourself and your team. By the way, we still need you to help us set up our dedicated YouTube channel, so you can do that by clicking on the link above to subscribe. Thank you for helping us spread the word about great leadership in Australia. As well as YouTube, stay connected with Proteus by following us on LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram to keep up with all the news. So that's all from me this week. Have an awesome week ahead, but never forget, it's a privilege to be in a leadership role, and when we understand that, then things will look completely different. Bye for now. Have a great week.